title of it is I Ain't No Fool.
Well, Grandma Anderson, it's so good to see you this morning. How have you been?
My dear, I was given tonsillitis and appendicitis and pneumonia and neuritis, and then they gave me inoculations and all kinds of medicines.
My goodness, I didn't know you were so ill. Why didn't you tell us? I mean, we could be praying for you and visiting you in the hospital and stuff like that.
I wasn't in the hospital, dear. That was what I was given at the gold digger's spelling bee.
You were at a spelling bee. Oh, no wonder you were talking about all those hard spelling words. My goodness, you really gave us a scare here.
Well, I thought I'd bring a little fun.
Well, it was more fear than fun. How's Grandpa doing?
He's doing very well. As you remember, dear, I told you we bought a little farm.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And you had a couple animals, right?
That's right. Betsy's a cow and a pig named Ink.
Ink? Why would you name a pig Ink?
'Cause he was always running out of the pen.
Oh, funny, funny, funny. And Betsy's a milk cow, right?
That's right. Hey, I have a funny story to tell you that Grandpa shared with me this week.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it seemed Grandpa was out in the barn milking Betsy, and this big old fly came flying around. He flew around Grandpa's head a couple times, then went over to Betsy and flew around her, and then that old fly flew into Betsy's ear.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, Grandpa didn't think much about it until that old fly came squirting out of the milk stream and landed in the bucket.
I'm going to think about that one.
Well, Grandpa thought about it for a moment and then chuckled and said, "My goodness, that old fly went in one ear and out the other."
Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible. I think I'll remember that one. Well, how's your garden this year?
Well, it's doing very good. I think we're going to have more than we need.
That reminds me of a Bible story Jesus told in Luke chapter 12.
What was the story, dear?
Well, we call it the story of the foolish rich man.
Well, tell me it, dear.
Okay. Well, it seemed this man had a fantastic farm, and everything he planted grew, so that when he had the harvest, he discovered he didn't have enough room in his barns to put everything in. So he built more barns and made sure that everything got tucked in real secure. Then he stood back and he said, "Self, it's time to eat, drink, and be merry. You'll never have to work again with all this food put away."
Well, he sounds like he's going to live the good life. And Grandpa and I were thinking about that pretty soon, too. We're going to sit on our porch in our old rocking chairs, sipping on lemonade and thanking the good Lord for all his blessings.
Well, this man didn't have anything to do with God. It was all me, myself, and I. But he was in for a surprise.
What was the surprise, dear?
Well, God showed up in his house that very night.
Oh, my goodness, that would be a surprise.
That's for sure.
What did God say?
Well, he said to this man, "You are a fool, because you have stored away all these things and not used it to help other people."
Was God upset about the amount of stuff that he grew?
No, it was his heart that was wrong. It was just, he was thinking that he could have all those things to himself, when around him in different areas, there were people who were poor and who could have used that extra stuff that he had.
Well, I'll tell you, I ain't no fool, no siree. I'm going to try to live to be 103. And when old Grandpa and I, we're going to give to people in need. Well, if we have anything left over this year, we're going to give it to our friends, our neighbors, and to those people who are poor. Because I read in Matthew 6 that we're not to lay up our treasures on earth, but lay up our treasures in heaven. Because where our treasure is, that's where our heart will be also.
Well, that's very good thinking. And the Bible also tells us that we may not end up with a lot of earthly goods, but if we're kind and thoughtful and helpful to other people, we'll end up with a lot of heavenly blessings.
That's right. And don't forget, I ain't no fool, no siree. I'm going to live for the Lord. Yes, indeed.